Hi guys, my name is Zin and this is maybe Bonsai. Today we're gonna start outside. It's you can see the regular that I moved here because it's getting green growth in the garage, even though the garage is really low temperature, but I guess this thing grows at below 10 degrees and zero. So I had to move it out because I didn't want this to grow during the winter. So I put it in the window as well. This is a north facing wall and it should be fine. I think protect it from the wind a bit. So I think I'm gonna leave this outside unless it gets to like negative minus 20 or something. I would move this inside, but for now I'm just gonna leave it here. All right, I'm in the garage now, and the trees here, I moved all the evergreens, or I guess the conifers, to a different location because in one of the meetings and a member mentioned that conifers need a little bit of sun during the winter, even though it's dormant. So I've moved them to near the garage door where there's a little bit of direct and a lot of indirect sunlight, and everything looks okay as far as I can tell for now. So I'm gonna leave these here, even though the temperature might be a little bit lower, but I think they can handle it, especially the native pines. So yeah, so that's the update for the overwintering so far, and everything seems to be good. And I haven't seen anything kind of die off or start turning yellow or anything like that. So I think so far so good in the garage. Yeah, so that's all for the overwintering. I'm upstairs now, and this is the one I'm going to repot today. It was in the garage. It's been sitting in the garage for at least 2 months. I think I put it in there around November. This is the silk tree, and what I read is that it could go on dormancy, and it should go on dormancy to experience the cold, which is what I did. But I think 2 months is enough, and I'm going to wake it up and repot it into a better pot. This one is cracked on both sides actually. So see, it's cracked here, and then it's cracked on this side. I think it can break apart at any time. I don't even know how it cracked. As far as I know, when I bought it, it was fine. So there's a lot of buds on here, and I brought this in for a couple of days. I haven't seen any movement, or maybe the movement was so small that I could barely notice, but it looks like it's, they're all kind of green. So yeah, let's repot this. It's also going to be an up pot as well, and get it ready for the next growing season. All right, so I'm going to take this out. Oh my God. I didn't really think it was going to come off like that, but yeah, I didn't I didn't even use any force. It just broke. I think if I bumped it somewhere, it would have just broken in half already. Okay. Well, that was easier than I thought. The top layer, I guess there's a top layer of just grit. So it's got really nice roots. I bought this off of Kijiji from just some random person. I'm not sure if this was seeded by them or if they bought it from somewhere else. But the soil is very, the drainage is really good. I noticed that as soon as when I bought it. And by looking at the roots are just, looks like it hasn't been repotted in probably a couple of years at least. But yeah, very healthy roots. It's coming off quite easily, the dirt, but I think once I get to the bottom, it's going to be a bit tougher. I've watched other videos, and they actually, a lot of people have silk trees or any trees that are similar species, and they don't even, they just keep them in the greenhouse, or they take them indoors. They don't even let it go dormant. So I don't know. What I read is it's better to let it go dormant when it was young, which is what I did. So hopefully it's paid off. Oh my God, look at this. Rings after rings. There's a really thick one out here. It's a square root. Oh man. Yeah, I think this is the tap root. It just started going in circles or squares in this case. But the soil looks good. It's got lots of grit. Very good drainage. But I'm not going to reuse it because this has been here for a long time. There we go, it's coming apart now. I'm pretty sure I'm going to take off this entire big taproot. It starts over here, I think. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of most of these just so it's easier to handle. Lots of roots. Okay. So the taproot starts in here, right there, and it is massive. Like it's whatever. Yeah, it's quite long. I mean, this is probably about 1.5 feet. And I can't have this big thing coming out, it just doesn't work. All these fine roots at the top, it's growing from more or less near the base of the tree. And this thing just pretty much extends straight down. So I'm going to remove this entire thing. We'll try if it works. Nope. Gotta get the pruners. Okay. There he goes. It still has lots of roots. I'm going to try to take this back a little bit more. Okay, it's quite flat now. So I think that's good. Yep. Just gonna clean up some of these. Everything else looks pretty good. It's pretty radial. You got roots coming from everywhere. And more or less it is from the same plane. There is this thing here. I'm not sure what's going on here. Oh. It's not really overlapping. It's just starting from a bit higher than the rest. I guess these two. So I'm going to remove these two. Just so that everything starts about the same. There's still lots of roots, so I'm not worried about the survivability of this. Okay, good to go. I had to sift more soil for this in the code. So again, if you don't have enough soil for the winter, sift it before the winter. Okay, I have the mesh in. A little bit higher. So again, I'm not going to worry about the front right now. You know, it's just small. It's going to get repotted again, and you know, in the proper pot, I guess. But I think this is good at this height. Still all the fine dust or fine dirt at the bottom of this sifted thing because of the compost I added. And when they dry up, you know, they're going to be very fine particles. It's basically just like dust. It's unavoidable for me. I don't mind it because it doesn't seem to affect any drainage. Everything still drains well, so I don't mind it, you know. It's not really causing any problems. Okay, let's give it a water. Just gonna wet the surface first. Yeah, these heads are working out great. Except this one kind of doesn't fit perfectly. I'm still hearing a lot of the fizzing sound of the water getting absorbed. So I'm pretty sure I could take more. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it like that. So yeah, hopefully this grows well. You know, hopefully it will start sprouting within a week. I think it should. You know, all the buds looks green and it looks like they're about to come out. So yeah, let's hope for the best. Now, so before we end today, this is the pomegranate that we repotted last week. There is some yellow leaves at the bottom. I noticed that some of the branches at the top, they had tips that were kind of dried up after the repot. And I pretty much just clipped them off. And then the leaves started yellowing at the bottom, but this happened a few days ago and it has stopped. So I think it has stabilized. Yes, it has stabilized from the repot, and I think it's okay now. So hopefully that's the case. And you know, I would hate for the tree to die after repotting. But yeah, these branches are still, the top part are still kind of not alive. We'll see if they come back or not. If it doesn't come back, I'll have to cut it at some point. But yeah, everything's doing well in this little area that I have. Okay guys, that's all for today. Thanks for watching.